Okay. I stopped watching my video, so
Wait,
that's
actually,
not in
I'm
the
gonna go.
background.
I'm gonna go take a piss.
Mute. We're just gonna skip to when the game starts. Perfect. Okay. And perfect. Okay. We're gonna go bit by bit. I don't want to just like I have so many things I want to go over, but I'm gonna go over them as they come up. Okay. This game was a second, and it was pretty close. This game, if you do what I tell you during this VOD, easy first, and you probably get to at least silver or gold with no problem.
Hell yeah.
So a thing you can do is you can wait. I would wait to do the anvils because they're gonna stay there no matter what, and you're not gonna fill up your bench enough to like warrant having to get rid of them. So I would just
True.
wait until after this PvE round is over and you get to the next stage to choose because then you'll know more of your item situation because during PvE rounds you get items. So I would wait until the PvE round is finished and you have like all your components, and then you can go be like, okay, so I have, a rod, cloth armor, and then I have like a BF sword and a cloak, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, okay, I want to make a gargoyles, and then, you've got a rod and a BF sword, so you're like, okay, so I want a tier for Shojin and I want, another rod for Deathcap, right? You can decide that because you already know what you've got out of these four
Yeah,
items, and you can use that to continue and be like, okay, I can build off of that with this, okay?
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So just wait a little bit, you got time. That's like a minor nitpick, more so. Is by far the least egregious thing you did. But it's just like with League, how like when you're playing League, like when you're level 1, you don't want to take your first ability right away just in case something happens, Because like
True.
say when you took the glove and the tier,
Mm-hmm.
say you get a tier from this stage right here, like you're gonna be like, okay,
Then I
well I
didn't
have two
take that.
tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the idea at the start. You got two Blitzcranks, you found an Amumu, you got more, you got Vix. You're like, let's play Visionary Automaton. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. I like it. Playing with what you got. Not gonna complain about that. Okay, let's look at your augments because I'm actually here now. Okay, so the way the augments work is you either want um, early game, you can go whatever. You can go something that gives you combat power, something that makes you something that gives you combat power, something that gives you gold or like items, or something that helps you. Yeah, so something that helps your economy, something that gives you items, something that gives you combat power, right? Now, to be fair,
Mm-hmm.
items are combat power, but it's not the same. If you're getting an augment that gives you like, plus, 10% attack speed and 20%
Every
AD,
3 seconds. Yeah.
yeah, that's a combat augment. Items are like static. Like if you have more items than someone, you will be stronger, but they could have a good combat augment. Okay, so here,
True.
honestly, um, I'm gonna be honest. This one is probably only good for the 7 gold, so that's pretty good. I don't think you really need the augment rerolls. I think honestly, they could be good. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like they're definitely a bait for newer players. Because you're like, oh, 3 augment rerolls. That means you can just like reroll again. But then you're just gonna get like frazzled, and you're gonna like, I don't know what to take. You know,
That's exactly what
it's gonna be
happened
even
too.
worse. This one, these augments are good. You just have to be prepared because what you get from this decides how you play the game. So if you
Yeah.
get who's a 2 cost champion? Say you get set, okay? You have to play a round set. You do not get a choice because then you're down an augment, and that's not worth it at all. Okay, so you can take this, and I don't have a problem with that, especially if you like don't know what
Oh
to
yeah.
go. If you don't know what to go, that's great because this will force you to play something.
I
But
honestly
you
probably should have went that
but you
too.
have to be prepared to be forced to take something or to be forced into that because if you don't play around it, you're down an augment.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Okay, and then component buffet. Basically, whenever you get an item, you get an anvil
Yep.
instead. That's really nice because you can like kind of like
You can choose what items you get basically.
sort of, yeah, yeah. It's a lot more forgiving item wise. Okay, so
Especially if you're like struggling to get like rods. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't go. It'd help you get better items, more fitting items. So I would have been down to take this one and this one. I would not take this one.
I think I did take that one too.
Yeah, I know you took this one.
Yeah.
So I'd be down for both of these. If you want, before you take one, by the way, reroll the ones you don't want. So if you don't want this one, reroll it. And
Yeah.
then say you were gonna take this one, right? So I'd reroll this one, see what you get, and then if you don't like what you got, then you take the one you were gonna take. If you get something better, take that one instead.
Okay. That's a good way of thinking about that.
That's how you do it. And like you've got this whole bar to decide. So like I established, I think. Oh, hold on, I gotta switch off of the pen. So like I
So
said,
my early thought was I'm because I was hoping to build automata
mhm,
because shit's nuts.
mhm,
But yeah, that's why I didn't take the caretaker.
that's
I
fine.
was like really on the fence for
You don't have
taking
to
the
take that.
components.
If I would have
Yeah,
taken the anvil one.
yeah,
Uh,
that's what I was like. I was really on the fence, like, ooh, maybe
the
I should
seven
take
gold's
that.
fine, but mhm.
This whole
Oh,
early game,
okay.
I'm
And
just
then
trying to figure out what I'm playing.
one thing I'll tell you. So I know you're still trying to figure out what to play. That's fine. Honestly, I just go Automata Visionary, which is what you got already. That's great. Um, so then what you can do is like, say you want to make 10, because every 10
Hmm.
gold is one extra gold per turn.
Yeah, I know.
Up to
Yeah.
50, up to 50. It caps unless you get an augment that tells you otherwise. So if you were like, okay, I'm playing Automata Visionary, right? You got more, you got Vex and stuff. What I would do is sell the Aurelia. You don't need it. And then sell one of the Morganas, or you could sell the Vex. Doesn't really matter. But that'd give you 10 gold, and then you'd get an extra gold. Again, kind of minor. It's not the biggest deal, but it's one of those micro things that you could do to like if you watched me play,
I think I look at other people's boards to see what they're building to see what's contested, so I can go different.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's too early to tell. You have to wait until after Krugs or at Krugs to figure that out, because they change up. People change what they play a lot during this part of the game. So if you really want to know what people are playing, wait till like here, somewhere in this region, because that's usually when they lock it in. Especially in your games, like they're not gonna pivot in bronze. So like once you get to Krugs, that's when you'll know what they're playing. So I wouldn't
Wait,
worry about scouting them early.
oh, is that like, dude? I don't pay attention to shit.
Yeah, this is
So those are
carousel.
like the
This is
stages.
augment. This is PvE round.
Oh my fucking god! Thank you.
This symbol will change. It'll be Krugs, Wolves, Raptors, and then it'll be Elder
Yeah.
Dragon. But otherwise, yes. And carousel is always in this spot. And augments
Okay.
are always on. You get three, and it's 2-1. It's 3-1, and it's 4-1. And then after that, they
Okay.
stop spawning. But yeah. Anywho, we're just chilling. We're not okay. So actually, I'll talk about this now. Once you go back to your board,
Wait, why can I
what?
mouse? My mouse is dead?
It's fine. Um,
Well, no, it's not.
you don't need your mouse right now.
Yeah, but why is it not working? Hold
Um,
on.
okay, I'll wait.
What the hell is my?
Mm, 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 mm,
I don't even know what. Fuck it.
mm, mm,
I'll figure it out later.
mm. Okay, so there are two things you can do. Well, there's technically so the early game. What you want to do is, do you want a loss streak or do you want a win streak? You know, it doesn't really matter what you do for now. We won't worry about that. But a great way to be strong, regardless, is item slamming. So if you're like, okay, I'm playing, I've got this stuff, play items to play around the stuff you have. So, you've got two tanks and a magic carry. So what you could do is you could take this cloth armor and combine it with this. Get a gargoyles, throw that on the blitzcrank because he's a 3 cost. Doesn't matter. He's just better than a Moo right now for free. And you're one off of blitzcrank too, which is actually huge. So you could slam a gargoyles on blitzcrank. You could also do a Crown Guard if he scales with AP. I think he does, but like you could also go Crown Guard if he scales with AP. That's an okay tank item. But Gargoyles is really good. Then Vex, I mean, with Vex uh you could go Jack Show for mana generation. You could go Joel Gauntlet. You can go Seraphs technically is what you went. You could also tank item wise. You could go. This is Heartsteel or Steadfast Heart, I think it's called. Uh,
Yeah,
you got plenty of
that's hard
options
still.
item wise here. Yeah, it's Heartsteel. You got plenty of options item wise here. I would honestly, for you, I think slamming them is fine. Unless you're playing like there. Okay, unless you're playing a comp you want to lose on. But for you, there's probably not one you want to lose on right now. I think you're fine just win streaking against people, just playing as strong as you can. So I just slam them. Um, Obviously try to slam around what you're gonna play around carry wise. So like for the time being, we're gonna ignore what you do later. You've got two tanks and a magic carry. So late game, if you want to play better units, just play a different tank that's better. Although Blitzcrank's a great tank to just stick with, so I just keep the items on him and then play a better magic carry. So instead of Vex, you could do like, we'll just say like LeBlanc or Malzahar or something, you know?
Yeah,
So just transfer the items from them to them. So like when I played Jinx earlier, I had Ez, and Ez would sit on the items until I got Jinx. And when I got Jinx, I took this item remover, I put it on Ez, and I moved the items over to Jinx.
got you.
So you play for the carry you want. So I know you don't quite know what you're going, but you have Automaton Visionary. I'll be honest, there's only one unit you're looking for, and that's Mal's.
Yep. Well, like early to mid game, it's fucking Kog'Maw.
Still, like your magic carry, because right now you have magic items and you have a magic a unit, a mage
Yeah,
who uses mage items. You just slam items from Malzahar and then you wait till you get Malzahar. And then you switch them. He sold the Aurelia. I think around Krugs, I'm gonna have to start telling you stuff because that's when I started losing my mind. But the really early game, you did fine. I'm down to lost streak, by the way. Just lost streak till you hit 50 gold. That's fine too. Ooh, okay. That's the other thing. I'll explain this now because I think it's a great time. So the way that TFT works is there are breakpoints for levels that you play around. Okay. So if you're re-rolling a 1 cost or a 2 cost, that's not how you write. Well, actually, or 2 cost, right? You want to be level 5. I don't know why I'm drawing numbers like that, right? Okay. So you understand that? So why do you want to be level 5? You want to be level 5 because that's when your odds for a 1 cost and 2 cost are the highest, right? And you'll naturally level to 5 after 5 stages. So like level 5 to 4, level 5 or 4. Me. Oop, you hear Tphil?
hmm
so level 4 and 5, right?
Yep.
The reason we want that is because at level 4 and 5, the chances of getting a 1 and 2 cost are the highest. So that's if we're rerolling a 1 or 2 cost, that's what we want. Level 6 is what you when you want um level 6 and 7. So we'll just do
So
level
the
7.
odds are based off your level.
Yes. So if we're doing a 3 cost,
Oh.
we want to be level 7, right? Okay. If we're doing a 4 cost, we're going to be level 8 or level 9. We're doing a 5 cost, we're going to be level 9 or level 10. Okay? And then the other thing is if you're say you're
Dude,
not
no wonder why I fucking struggle all the time.
so the
Holy
other
shit.
thing is if you're can I like
Looks like a 9, but I know it's a 7.
right. Okay. So the other thing is if you're playing around a unit, not playing around a unit, you know. So say like you're not doing a reroll. You don't want a 3-star anything, which is fine. That's okay. That's fine. If you don't want a 3-star something, that's fine. The other way you do it is you play what I do at least is I'll just I'll get 50 gold, and then after I hit 50 gold, what I'll do is
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend until I hit level 7. Uh and then the reason I do that is because I can lose streak early game um through that, which will keep my loss streak high, which gives me extra gold. Win streaking and loss streaking give you extra gold, by the way. It doesn't really matter which one. The important part is the streak. So then I'll go to a 7, and then when I hit 7, I'll re-roll. That's when I start re-rolling instead of leveling. So I'll re-roll. I'll go down to like 30 gold, right? And I'll just go for stars. I want to get everything 2-star, right? So say I'm playing like Enforcer, I want to get like a 2-star. Um,
So you don't give a shit about 2-starring anything to level 7?
when I'm doing this, if I'm like lost streaking, I'm just leveling the 7 as fast as possible. If I'm not doing a reroll comp, so say I'm not like going for like Powder or Vi or Draven or something, I just go to 7 and then I go for my stars.
Okay.
So like if I'm playing Enforcer, right, I'll have like Maddie, Steb, and like Loris, and we'll say I got lucky and got a Vi, and that's all level 5, right? So I'll go to
Mm-hmm.
7, and once I hit 7, I want Loris too. You know, I want if you can get away with getting a 2-star 4 cost. It's a little harder, but that's fine. But you want all your like 3-star units and below at 2-star, and then you can continue forward. So then after that, um, after I hit 2 stars, all my 2 stars, then I level again. So I go back up to 50 gold. I'll let my gold go back up, and then I'll go to 8 or 9 usually. I don't usually go 10. If you go 10 if you have a lot of money usually, or you want to go for a 3-star 5 cost, okay? So I'll go 8 or 9, and then based on which one I want. If I'm playing around like Jinx or Caitlyn, I'll go 9. If I'm playing around like Vi or who's another 4 cost I can think of? We'll just say Elise, right? If I'm playing around
Are you
Vi or
recording
Elise.
this?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
if I play Vi or Elise, like I'm going 8, okay? And then I'll reroll then, and go for like that's when I go for like my 2-star 4 cost, right? My 4 cost carry or my 5 cost carry, right? That's when I go for that 2-star because I got it's the chance is so much higher. Like at level 7, for example, your chance of getting a
Mm.
1 cost or a 5 cost is 1%, okay?
Oh.
At level 8, it's 3%. At level 9, it's 10%.
Oh.
So do you see why I wait for these level thresholds? It's because the chance is so much better if you just wait. So I play
Got
around
you.
that.
Now, obviously, if you get it, you fucking get it, right?
Like, what do you mean?
Like if it pops up on the 1 or 3, you obviously just fucking get it.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously. Like, but you don't
yeah,
fish for it.
okay.
That's the point. So like, I'll still be leveling, but like earlier, I hit level 7 and I found a Jinx. I'm buying that
Hmm.
Jinx, but I'm still playing around my thresholds. So even though I had the Jinx, I rerolled at 7, or I did my rerolling at 7 to be strong enough, and then I went forward. So what you do
Okay.
is you get low health early. You use that level 7 reroll to be stronger than the rest of the enemy. Then you use that strength to carry you into the later levels, 8 or 9, and then you use that to get you the win. You get stronger there, and that's how you get your win. Because then you get
Got
your Jinx too, and etc. And that's where the rest of your power comes from. So like now, a little more rambling. So now we'll put it towards your comp. So you've got Blitzcrank. You're playing Visionary Automata. So your characters this game, honestly, are Blitzcrank because he's a 3-cost tank, really good tank to rely on, and your other one is Mal's. So if you're going for Mal's and Blitzcrank, you should honestly do the level 7 strat. Okay, so you just power level to 7. Wait till you get 50 gold. So you get to 50 gold, and then after that, everything over 50 you spend to XP, and you go to 7. And once you hit 7, you can try to get your Mal's. Is there a 4-cost automata? Who is it? It's Amumu, Blitz, Cog, Nocturne. Blitz,
you.
Cog,
No,
Nocturne.
I don't think there is a fuck.
I don't think there is either. I have. See, I'm smart though. That's why I pulled this up. 4-cost automata. There's
Nope.
not. Okay, so you just that's what you do. You play around that. It's Academy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you play around. So you're like, okay, I'm playing for Mouse. So you go 7, you'll get your 2 stars, like a 2-star Blitz, 2-star Mumu, 2-star Nocturne, that stuff, and then you'll go to 8, 9. Get your uh get your Mouse real quick, and then go from there. Maybe I should put this in like do this. We're just gonna power through this early game. Because once like mid game hits, that's when I was starting to freak out. Oh, or is it right now? It was when you pivoted in a bruiser, which was fine. The pivot wasn't the problem.
Was me putting my faith into Remy?
No,
Oh.
we'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, so first of all, I think this is a mistake. I think you should have just stuck with the Blitzcrank and the Amumu. Um, like you just give Blitz literally gargoyles, and you're chilling. And then you go to like level 5 or something. Maybe you find like a Nocturne or a Kog'Maw, and you're actually sailing.
I literally get Nocturne in my next shop.
I know you do. You're literally cruising, but I think you second guessed yourself, and you're like, I'm just gonna go Bruiser because you picked Rennie. Remember on Carousel, I don't. The unit you get does not matter unless it's a unit you really need. So like, say you're like
I
level
okay.
7 and you get a
The
Jinx.
reason why I shifted, because
Mhm.
one, she was Bruiser, but she also had a rod.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just fucking shift because I need the rod.
That's great. If you need the rod, that's fine. But you don't have to change your comp. You can just sell Rennie.
I mean, it's true, but like, it was like a 2-for-1 kind of deal to me. That's how I looked at it. And it's like, at the time, I wasn't getting a lot of automata. And I know a lot of them are like later than the
Okay, but
fucking.
remember, you're early. First of all, like, and you do this already. You aren't even re-rolling. You're waiting to get to 50 gold, so you're not gonna find what you want early on. That's just how the game works, and that's fine, unless you get lucky. And like, it's easier or it's safer to assume you aren't gonna get lucky because more often than not you are. And TFT is not a game about luck. It's about manipulating the game to do what you want. So the rod's fine. I love going for the rod. I mean, Jewel Gauntlet, slam that on Vex, you're chilling. I'm happy.
I did that, and you sounded upset, so I was like, and I started second guessing even making it.
Um, but like you have two Blitzcranks and two Amumus. The two Amumus is kind of whatever, but like the two Blitzcranks, that's a 3 cost. You have two or 3 cost on stage 2. Like if you can get a 2-star Blitzcrank at like level 5, you're so strong. It's actually great. And like let's be realistic here. I mean, you played Mal's late game anyway. Like these traits are so good for Mal's, obviously, because they're
Yeah.
his traits, right? So like I think it's a mistake, but it's the play you make, and you can still win with it, making this play. Like it's actually fine. Um, maybe not in every game, but like I said, to like easily pass gold, you can win making this play. That's fine. That's not too big of a deal. And then I know you slam the gargoyles. I like that too. I like that too. Oh, you can just click on the item and create it. Nifty. You don't even have to do the hover thing.
No. I had to hover. I was looking on what I
No, no,
could
no,
build.
no. See? You can just click the create
Oh,
item.
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I didn't even know that either.
I didn't even realize that.
It's so weird. Okay, so yeah, I like the items we slammed. Actually gorgeous. Actually chilling. And there's a,
Yeah.
this is why we wait. Good things come to those who wait. You would have had a 2-star Blitzcrank, you would have a Nocturne. You're actually, you would have been chilling. You would have made in the shade. You probably would have started win streaking, which to be fair, you started a win streak, but like, I think you would have fried people if you
I
just
think I went
waited.
back and forth at the bit. I don't remember what happened.
If you just waited, you would have been chilling. I mean, yeah, I knew you won this fight easily because his items are dog water. That's the other thing. Like you if you itemize right, you'll actually just smoke people because they don't itemize well down here. They just slam whatever looks like an item. They don't play around like what's strong on what. Okay, we're at Krug's, chilling. Buy a stub because you're playing Bruiser. That's fine. No complaints here. I think it's coming though. After this, I think that's when I will be laying into. Stop. Okay. Um. So I'm gonna talk about what I would do here, and then we'll talk about what happens. So here, you have a mage carry, and you're still playing visionary, so we're gonna assume you would play around mouse. I know you do, but we're gonna assume you're still going with that vision, right? So mage or casters of most varieties, even an AD caster, which you'll see me run the item on Jinx a lot. What we go or what I go, what's really good. Actually, I'll just explain it here. Okay. Oop, I'm clicking a bunch of stuff. Okay, so the way that this works is there's two mana gen items, okay, and they both come from tier. You got Spear of Shojin, which makes it so your attacks grant an additional 5 bonus mana. So every time you attack, you're getting, instead of 10 mana, which is what you get base, you get 10 mana every auto attack, you'll get 15. So every 2 attacks is an extra 10 mana. The other item is blue buff, right? So blue buff, it lowers the, does it lower the cost? Oh, it's gain 10 mana after casting. Oh, it's different now. Interesting. Okay, so blue buff gives you 10 mana every time you cast, right? So actually, theoretically, it's still better on like shorter mana pool champs, right? So every champ has a mana pool. So like Vex, for example, or like Swain, for example, here has 70 as his mana pool, right? Tphil.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So like 70 is his mana pool, right? So like I think it's safe to go with like if their mana pool is like 60 or less, blue buff's probably pretty good. Blue buff's probably the play. And if it's greater than 60, uh, I think Shojin's the play, right?
Okay.
But like casters, they love that mana, and you can also go. The other item that is mana gen is where is it? Jack Show, right here. Adaptive Helm. So like when you're in the front line, it gives you mana for being hit, and when you're in the back line, it gives you mana every couple seconds, right? So those are
Oh,
your
okay.
mana gen items, right? And they all build at a tier. Tier cloak, tier sword, and tier, right? So I would, for Mal's, I would build a Shojin because he's got a pretty chunky mana pool, and casting his spell is really good because then he gives like an infection. He gives them a dot, and every time he casts, he builds up that dot, right? So he's doing more and more damage. That's why your mouse is doing so much damage because he's stacking that dot on people and it's just melting them. Okay, so I
Got you.
would go a Shojin because cast that spell more. Mages love or casters love casting them spells, right? What happens is you see these items and you're like, let's go Bloodthirster, which Bloodthirster's a great item. Love me some Bloodthirster. But you don't have a champ that wants Bloodthirster, I'm pretty sure. Because I think, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure Trundle's a tank. Where's Trundle? Here he is. Trundle. Hmm. Actually, yeah, he is a tank. He's an attack tank. It says right there in the corner. So now this is this is a general rule. It's not a hard and fast rule because some champs do prefer to be built in a way that's not recommended. But for the time being, it's safe to build what's recommended. And Rennie is a tank. She doesn't really want offensive items. She just wants to survive. So she wants, Dragon's Claw, Bramble Vest, Gargoyles, uh, what's it called? Stuff like that, right? You want to give like
Yeah.
fighters like Bloodthirster stuff, so like Echo or Vi and or Savika, stuff like that.
Got
So
you.
I would have just built the Shojin, put it on Vex, and you're chilling. Me in the shade. You got a strong carry, then you just need to look for tank items. And I think this cloak here is great. I think holding this cloak for like uh, a dragon's claw or something is great. You've got your tank items set there, and you're actually chilling. Because what you really want to look for is like a 3 item tank and a 3 item carry, right?
Yes.
So whoever's doing your damage, you want 3 items, and whoever's tanking the most damage, you want 3 items. Rennie is a great person to have as your tank carry. That's fine. You want to itemize her that way though.
I don't know if you knew this, but I think you can have more items this set. So like, I think in theory you could technically have like 2 backline carries and 2 like tank carries, or like 2 tanks. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I'm just saying like at least that much. You can have you don't get
yeah.
just 6 items. You can have 2 tanks itemized. You can have 2 carries itemized. It doesn't matter. At
Well, it wasn't
least one.
items. It was like a set amount of components you can have or something. I don't remember
They
the
increase the
set.
amount of components you get or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what though.
It scared the piss out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Anywho,
I'm here for
yeah,
it.
no, it's not the amount of items you're going for. It's who you're putting them and the fact. So I just want you to like what I want you to shoot for is just having a tank with items and a carry with items, and then after that, all on you. I don't care. You can do whatever you want then. Um, But I want you to also make sure that you're giving your tank items and you're giving your carry items. Like if you're giving your carry like gargoyles, bramble vest, and you're giving your tank like blue buff
No,
and
I don't.
infinity edge.
I'm not that dumb.
Well,
I've never given a bramble vest to my backline.
okay. Well, there we go. That's good at least.
Like,
That's great.
I can read a little bit.
By
So
the
are you then just fine to use the suggested items on your carries and tanks?
yeah, he's fine. If he did that, I don't care. That's fine for now.
I literally didn't even know that was a thing until he told me about that
I
midway through
told
this
him
game.
I told him at the start of this game that that's something he could do, and he was like, "Oh,
That's a skill diff.
okay." So here you're in the trap. You have too many rerolls. Um, but you have your first augment is, we're gonna say, an economy augment because it gives you like 11 gold or whatever. So you can either go, this is good, the rerolls, that's fine. That'll help you. Honestly, if I was you, I'd be saving them until you hit like level 7, and then you could use them, and you're saving 22 gold there. That's pretty big. 8 damage every time you deal damage to enemy tactician, or every 8 damage gives 2 gold. This is another economy augment. That's pretty good. And this is a combat augment. It buffs your units. So they're all pretty good. Honestly, any of these is fine. But I'm pretty sure you reroll them. And I think you take this one, actually. I think this is the one you take.
Is it not just a game of looking up a tier list?
No.
11 free shop rerolls is like
I don't
insane.
think that's how you should play the game. Especially if you're new. If something's good, you don't know why it's good necessarily. You just know it's good. So like you could be taking like, it could be like, say for example, rolling for days is the best augment in the game right now, okay? If you're taking rolling for days, but Tphil doesn't know that the secret to taking rolling for days is you reroll Draven, because Draven's the Giga Busted, right? And Tphil goes rolling for days, and he's going for like, we'll say like a Jinx 2, right? Like he's not playing the augment in the way that makes the augment great, right? Does that make sense?
So what are you saying then? Trial and error is
I'd say just pick what
what
looks
you
fun,
should be going for?
what sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the way to play.
Just intuition.
If you're like, oh, I really want those rerolls, like that's fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up with augments you like over other augments.
I thought about getting the Titan one.
Increase your current max health. This helps you live longer. So if you're playing some for late game, Malzahar, also not bad. It also releases you earlier. Wait, on carousel rounds you are released earlier. Oh, okay. So you get off the carousel, you're released
you're
from the carousel
slower.
faster, but you move slower. That's interesting. I like that.
That negative like really made me like I'll just go with the rerolls.
I don't imagine you're that much slower. Also on the carousel, I'll tell you this really fast. So the carousel always moves in this direction. They just spin in this circle. So if you have something you want and it's like right here and you're down here, walk this way. Because it'll come
Yeah.
to you. Because if you chase it, someone could get to it before you because it's running away from you as you walk. Shop root
I
rules.
passed up the best augment in the game, buddy.
No, that just gives them a thief's glove. It doesn't. That's the prismatic, the one you're thinking about.
No, I promise it's not. They're all the best.
Mm. Do 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 do. Here's where you slam the BT.
Wait, when did they add that thing on the left? That's fucking sick.
They just added it. That's not a that's in the game. It's new. It's really
That's so
nice.
cool.
Mort said there's some more stuff they want to do to optimize it, but so far they like it. And so Tphil, in case it wasn't obvious, I do not like the BT on Runny. That was one of the things I was freaking out about. But otherwise, I think you're doing good. About to hit 7. I think you get baited in a rerolling here. Um, just so you know, this is a newer thing, but like that doesn't really matter to you. You haven't been playing for that long. Rerolls last forever. As long as you don't reroll, like it'll sit there forever. So you could just wait until like level 7, level 8, level 9 to reroll, and you'll still have them. You're muted, by the way, if you don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, chilling. So here, personally, I'd go for the sword because you just used your sword to make a bloodthirster, and I would really like a Shojin. The Elise is fine, and this does facilitate you going into the Black Rose. Another good item. So in TFT, there's Shred. So like, there's armor, magic resist. Champs do physical magic damage just like they do in League.
Yeah, I don't know what shred does.
It reduces their armor and MR. So there's magic resist shred and armor shred. So armor shred
Oh,
items, the armor shred items are even shroud. Actually, hold on. So the armor shred items are even shroud, which is here. So this is one of the armor shred items. So it's sunder and shred. Sunder reduces armor, shred reduces magic resist. So even shroud is one of the shred items, or the sunder items, and then last whisper is the other one. So this goes on
okay.
AD champs, and this goes on tanks. So even shroud's a tank
Okay.
item. Units around the person with the item will be sundered, and then this is the damage item. People that do damage to units will apply sunder. Okay. Uh, and then for magic resist, you've got ionic spark, which is the tank shred item. So you put this on a tank, units around it will have reduced MR. And then you have static shiv, which is a the like
Yeah.
magic shred item for damage. So I would go the bow. Well, you took the bow actually, so take the bow, combine it with the tier, and then put that on Vex, and now Vex is going to give you shred. You don't need more than one shred item, so you can just build the static shiv, and then you don't have to worry about shred anymore. But it is good to have, especially if people are getting some tanky tanks. It's like say like the whole lobby is like doing magic damage. Someone could just itemize a giga magic tank, and you won't do any damage unless you build shred, right? It's just like in League. And then just to go over it again, like I talked about earlier, I would just go to 7 first and then start rerolling. Oh, and then one of the other things I want to talk about that I saw you doing is you hold units that I don't think you ever will play.
Yep.
So like
Yeah, I do this.
I know Renata's a visionary, right? And you want another visionary in, but I also sat here and watched. You never played Renata, right?
Nope.
So you could technically keep the Renata if you want to put her in, but you have to have in your head when you want to put her in. So if you're like, okay, it's 7, I want to put in Renata, that's fine. That's great to hold the Renata. But instead of Renata, then we'll talk about Rel. When are you ever gonna put this Rel in?
I don't know. Never.
Does she give you a trait you want? I think her traits
Bruiser.
are her trait.
She gives me Bruiser.
Does she? Hold on, let's look.
Yes.
Let's look. Let's
She
look.
has 3 of them.
I know she has 3. Rel. No, you lied to me. She's a conqueror, a sentinel, and a
I know
visionary.
Visionary. Okay, yeah. She
Okay,
had
so
one of
she's
them.
visionary. My bad, didn't know that one. That's fine. So then you're okay. So then you want to play uh Rel and Renata for visionary, right? You gotta put them in. But when are you gonna put them in? Because you're level 6, you've got 4 bruiser, 2 visionary, right?
Hmm.
You have to go to level 8 to put them in, right? And at
Yeah.
that point, if you're putting in 2 visionaries, I feel like it's just better to put in Malzahar, who's 1 visionary. Then who's the other one? Is it Heimerdinger? Yep,
No.
it is.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I just put in Malzahar Heimerdinger instead. They're better. The
true.
my only argument for Rel is she's a tank. That frontline can be helpful, and it can be important. However, in this case, I think you're fine because you're playing Bruiser and they're all frontline, right? Bruiser is a
Hmm.
frontline trait, so everyone with it is usually a frontliner. Or they're a fighter. But they still can take a good amount of damage. So I would just go for Mal's Heimerdinger instead. So I'd sell both of them. I'd sell Renata and Rel and use that XP, that gold you'll get, because I think this is Renata 2, so that's 5
Yeah.
gold, and this Rel is 2, so I'd use that to level. Another character you don't really need is the set, by the way.
Yeah. He's the one that gives me Bruiser.
He's the bruiser, that's right. What's Nunu do?
Bruiser.
Nunu's a bruiser? I'm still
Pretty
learning
sure.
the set, that's why I'm asking.
3-star.
Yep, you're right. He's a bruiser. All right, so they're both bruisers. But like I said, that's 4 units now, so you have to be level 10, and you're not hitting
Yeah.
level 10. So when it
No.
comes to stuff like this, just play the better units. So like Elise is a great bruiser to put in. She's a 4 cost. That's strong, right?
Yeah, I should have took out the Trundle.
You can just play for the stronger units. That's fine. Yeah, take Nunu out, put Trundle in, or take Trundle out, put Nunu in. I like that too. That's great. Or Steb.
Yeah.
For Steb. Him too. Both great options. Unless they're a unit with like another trait you want. So like say like Elise has Black Rose, right?
Yeah.
So like she can stay in
Obviously.
because like say you want to play around Black Rose, um, because you do, stuff like that. So like Trundle's Scrap, Steb's Enforcer. So like if you don't want those, then you can replace them.
I don't think I didn't realize I was close to Black Rose until later.
It's just what you played around. I'm not saying you should play around it. It's just what you did. I don't think it was a bad idea. Again, I still think you should slam the Static Shiv and put that on Vex. Unless unless you're playing for like a specific item. So say you did want a Shojin, I'm fine with not using the items and waiting to get Shojin because I'll tell you this, PvE. We'll talk about that later. Actually, never mind. It's more important later because it is something that I noticed you did, and I wanted to correct you on it, but I didn't. We'll wait. So yeah, if you're like I want to wait for Shojin and you want to do Wolves first, that's fine. You'll get components, so I think it's a good play. It just depends on if that's what you were thinking. Playing this in 1.5x was such a good idea.
Yeah.
Got another tier.
A lot of gold from that too.
Blue buff's not bad. I don't mind a blue buff here either. Then you could go like a Nashor's Tooth as well.
I think that's
Excuse
what
me.
I did, didn't it?
I know you made a Nashor's Tooth. You did not make a blue buff.
No.
Alright, so you don't have a combat augment yet. So usually if the third augment comes and you don't have a combat augment, you should just take a combat augment. So I would go, this is fine.
Should you generally have like one of each?
No,
Oh, okay.
you should have a combat augment though, from what I've gathered. So like this is also a combat augment. This is actually an augment for visionaries. So this is actually pretty good this game for you. So you could go,
Yeah.
I'd be fine if you took either of these. I wouldn't take this one.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I re-rolled that. I think I re-rolled the shields one.
That's fine too. I would have taken the
No,
visionary one.
I don't
Again,
remember
you
which
suffer
one
from too
I'm
many
taking.
rerolls probably, so I think you just spam reroll. Pandora's is fine. This is what you took. You took Clockwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take in Void Color. There's augments like this that like empower like specific traits, and if you're playing that trait, they're great. They're usually good to take.
10% attack speed every 3 seconds just sounds sexual.
It's good, but you don't have anything that benefits from attack speed. Like if you had a Shojin, which I know you get one later, but if you had a Shojin on this Vex, and then say you had like, we'll pretend you have a Shojin on work for now. Then I really like the attack speed because the more attacks they're putting out, the more mana they're getting, the more they're casting, right?
Yeah.
But like at the moment, like the only thing you're getting is more attacks, and I don't think you really have anyone that cares in your board. I like buying double blank here, by the way, especially with 2 Black Rose, which I think you figure out in
Yeah, this
like
is
a
like when
stage
I
2.
realize.
I think you get a Miles next shop too.
1%, by the way.
Again, a lucky mouse. And you
Yep.
use that to help your snowball in the late game. So then you really power towards a couple levels once you know you're strong enough, and you go. Then you shoot for your mouse too, your LeBlanc too, because I know you put that in. Yeah, so like now at this point we have so many units we don't need. Like we don't need this, we don't need this,
Yep.
we don't need
I
this,
know.
we don't need these. You could technically have the Vex, but I'm gonna be honest, you're not playing Vex carry.
No.
That's something you decide way earlier. Also, you can definitely buy the Vlad for more Black Rose. That's okay.
Yeah, I noticed that after. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck.
Because at the moment you have 5 Bruiser in, but I think you're about to put LeBlanc instead of one of them.
Yeah, I think I take out Trundle.
Actually, I don't think you put her in until Mouse shows up.
Yeah, which could have really helped me.
But like right now, you're kind of wasting a trait. You could either have 4 Visionary in, or you could either have 6 Bruiser in.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably go for 4 Visionary. So I would take out a Bruiser and put in a Visionary. So like take out Trundle or Steb and put in like Morgana or Rel. Or not Morgana, Renata or Rel, sorry. Also, if you look when it says it sunders, it says right here in the gray text what it does.
Oh.
All the ones that have like an effect, it says what it does right here below.
I never feel like I have enough time to fucking read anything.
You can read while they're fighting. It's usually when I do it. You don't really have to do anything. Oh, this is how you get the mouse. That's right, carousel. The fact that they allowed you to get this is crazy, but like you went really early, so it makes sense.
I was like, why the fuck would you not take it?
Okay, so here, first of all, I know you do the anomaly thing. That's a different thing, but instantly, I would probably slam uh, this static shiv on someone. It can go on Vex. And then I would remove these items from Vex before I did that, and I'd give them to Malice. Bye, Trundle. Oh yeah, you leveled to put in the Malice. I liked that. I actually really liked that. Going down to level is fine, as long as you're not spending all your gold for it. At least before the game's almost over. Like if it's the last level
Yeah.
you're gonna get, then you can do it. If you're not gonna get much stronger besides putting in one unit, then you can just spend it all the level. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, I was like, this gives me the 4 visionary, and I can't remove anyone without like removing one of my other trades. So it's like, fuck.
Oh, this is perfect. I like this. And then you do this evolution thing. I like that. That's fine. I like these items from Mouse. The only other thing I would do is I'd take the Jewel Gauntlet off of Vex and put that on him. And then I'd give Vex a static shiv.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you're fine. This is great. And then I'd go for like tank items because you really need some tank items. Oh, actually, I wouldn't give it to Vex. I'd give it to LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Screw Vex. Put it on the higher cost unit. Oh, I'm sitting here. I like this too. I would give her a blue buff then. Um, I'm sitting here and I was screaming, Jewel Gauntlet on LeBlanc, Jewel Gauntlet on LeBlanc, yes, 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 Jewel Gauntlet on LeBlanc. And then I was like, build a blue buff because I didn't, or a Hodge. Hodge was fine, I guess, but I think blue buff's better now after a bit of time. But I was like, yes, put the Jewel Gauntlet on her and then give her a Hodge or a blue buff. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then you give the Jewel Gauntlet to Rennie, and I blew a gasket, brother man. That's like giving a Bramble Vest to your Vex. Just don't do it. The what Jewel Gauntlet and IE do, by the way, is they let your ability crit. Jewel Gauntlet gives AP and IE gives AD, so usually they want to go the carries of that respective amount. So like Malzahar with a Jewel Gauntlet will get some extra AP and his ability can crit, you know? And then Jinx with an IE, her ability can crit and she's getting some extra AD, which she also really likes. So that's what they do. It doesn't like just make your auto attacks crit, it makes your ability crit. That's what's saucy. And it increases your crit chance too.
So like IE on like someone like Draven even.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it also works on autos. It just lets your ability also crit. Also, I know you're probably thinking, but like, don't hesitate on like slamming an item. So like, if you're like, oh, I kind of want to put this Jewel Gauntlet on LeBlanc, do it. Do it. Commit to that. I love it. Again, you're on Raptors, so if you wanted to wait to see what you got from Raptors, that's also okay too. Also, now that we're here, I'll talk about it. After Raptors, you don't get any more components.
Oh,
For the most part. So honestly, by after Raptors, I would just make all the items you can make and call it a day because you're not going to get more components. Most likely. You can technically get like a component on a carousel, but I'd only worry about that if you have an extra component. I wouldn't just sit on the items because then you're just so much weaker for no reason.
got you.
And I lost my mind. Even if I unmuted the VOD, you wouldn't hear me freaking out because I did it silently. But alright, so here, in the situation we're in now, we're gonna pretend you can't take the items off of Rennie, okay? I would just do a blue buff on the Blanc, and then I would make a Thief's Glove and give that to like Elise. Because you don't your front line is honestly terrible.
Yeah.
So you need some girth. So if you don't know what Thieves Gloves do, they give 2 random
You two
items.
random full items.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's based on level. Earlier on, it's just like an item, and then it becomes like an item and a component, and so on. But you're at level 8, so it's probably 2 items right now. So I'd just give a Thieves Glove and then give both of the tiers to LeBlanc or something. However, if we're being really smart, we take the Jewel Gauntlet off of Rennie, put that on LeBlanc, and give LeBlanc a blue buff. And then we can make the Thief's Glove, and then you can just put the tier on someone like Vex or something. It doesn't matter. Actually, wait, you have an anvil. Uh,
I don't
so
remember.
so you'll have an extra. You'll have enough components to make 3 full items. Because you have the 4 there, the 4 up here, and then you have the 1 on LeBlanc.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have 6. Um, I'll go back real quick. So here, I would go a Giant's Belt. Because then that gives you blue buff, Thieves Glove, and Redemption. Redemption, such a good item.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Giga broken on tanks.
it
Yeah.
gives you that heal and it gives you that damage reduction. That's magnifique. So then I'd probably give honestly I'd take the gargoyles off of Rennie and give it in Redemption to Elise. She's your highest cost tank
Yeah.
and she's not 2-star yet, but she's gonna be soon. And your Rennie's a 1-star anyway, so it's still the best play. The Bloodthirster, I mean, she can have it, whatever. She earned it. And then Thieves Glove you can give to Nunu. Nunu's a 3 cost. Give the Thieves Glove to Nunu. Perfect. So you kind of want to itemize your highest unit, your highest cost unit, unless you have a unit who's like slightly lower. So like, say your Nunu, she was 2-star, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nunu was 3-star, right?
Yeah.
Put the items on Nunu then. That's fine.
Obviously, because yeah, if it's a 3-star.
Say your Elise is 3-star. Obviously, always okay. A 3-star 4 cost, put items on them no matter what. The 3-star 4 cost is insane. Okay,
Well, yeah.
but for the most part, just give it to the highest cost. So then, I would go the Giant's Belt. I think that makes your items pretty good if you go the Giant's Belt. And with like itemization, you'll kind of get that feel for that over time, but yeah. Slam the blue buff, grab the Thief's Glove. In another timeline, take the Jeweled Gauntlet off of Rennie. and you're in a pretty good spot. I like leveling to 9. You're still sitting on units you don't need.
Yep.
Just a bunch of wasted gold. You could honestly almost be 9 already if you just sold them. Like, if you emptied your bench right now, I'd be so happy. You don't even need the Vexes because she doesn't have items anymore. She's not doing your damage. Like that's something that I've also seen new players get baited into. They go for 3 stars that they don't even won't even do anything for them because they're not units they're even playing. So like say you
Yeah.
did get
You're only
3-star
trying to get
Vex.
3 stars on your like carries and stuff.
Exactly. Units you
And if you
you
get
want
three
to do your
stars on the
damage.
others, then it's fucking luck.
An itemless 3-stars, whatever.
Yeah.
Now if you 3-star a 4 cost, do whatever you can to put items on them off of your 3 or 4 cost or a 5 cost. Do whatever you can to move items to them because they need them more.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if you like go for a 3-star 4 cost if it's giving it to you. Like that's fine. Those are game winning. You can win a game with the 3-star 4 cost, and you always win a game with the 3-star 5 cost. Just put items on them. Don't let them sit unitemized.
I don't think I would.
I'm just telling you just in case. So like, still think you can sell these units? I would honestly buy the Vlad, put that in for Black Rose. I think that's a good play. Cause like, then you'll be sitting on 5 Visionary or
I
5
think
Bruiser
this
if
is
you
when
put
I
something else on.
noticed the Vlad was there. I don't think I saw him at first. Because I think I sell units
You definitely sell
now.
units here soon. You definitely don't buy the Vlad.
No, I don't.
I'm not opposed to
No.
the Rel, by the way, but I would take out like Morgana or something then. Well, not Morgana, probably Vex. Um, because Morgana's a Black Rose, right? That's why we don't want to take her
Yeah.
out. So I'd take out Vex. I'd sell Vex and put Vlad in because I do like the front line from Rel. I think that's great. Also, Malzahar hard carries you here.
Yep.
Item here, I mean, honestly, Gunblade wouldn't be bad. Uh, Ceres isn't the worst either. I'd take Gunblade though, probably. Gunblade makes it so that your unit heals the lowest health unit when they deal damage. Based on the damage they deal. But Ceres is fine too. Ceres on LeBlanc. And then, we're at level 9. I'm gonna be honest, we're not making it to 10. It's too much gold. We don't have the time. So what I want you to do now is just roll for your carries. Roll for LeBlancs, roll for Malzahar's, get at least 2, get the tank items on her. Uh, maybe get another Black Rose in over this. That's what you're looking for right now. Because like I said, you're not gonna hit level 10, and you don't really need to hit level 10. So just go for your stars. Get stronger. You can honestly just roll all your gold too. I don't really care. The reason you want to keep the interest is because early game, first of all, the gold is just nice, but also like you use that to help you level. But now you're not
Yeah.
really gonna buy XP, so you can kind of roll down. If you want to save some gold, sit at like 20 or 30, but at least roll down a bit. You definitely want to get your stars.
I think my thought process was wait till I like lose a round, I think.
I also don't want you sitting on items anymore. Just slam it. I don't care on who. Just put it on someone. After Raptors, just make sure you have all your items complete. I don't want to see any components or items on your bench. But I like rolling here. That's great. Still have the useless units on your bench. Love that.
Mhm.
I think that was one of the other things that was driving me nuts. I was actually really impressed you got second, and if you actually had a front line, I think you would have won pretty easily. But your running was so weak. But I think that's it. I don't know if you do anything else that's egregious. Mouse, we love to see it. I will say, usually, what I do is I wait to reroll until after the PvE round because you'll get extra gold and that's just extra money, extra interest. So I would stay at 50. I'd stay
Oh,
at 50 for the PvE round.
that's so
I'd
true.
roll after it. Otherwise, you're fine. Another release. I think the redemption here, by the way, was the best choice and it's the choice you made. So I love that. Um, Also
Just
like,
wrong character.
and you put it on a tank at least. But yeah, I'd put it on at least. But like think of how much more gold you'd have if you didn't waste it on this XP. You'd
Yeah,
have like an extra what, 20 gold?
a
That'd be
lot.
so big.
Yeah.
You were actually unironically really close to Mal's 3, and that's the easiest win of your life if you get that. I don't think you were going to or would have gotten it, but that like that extra gold would have helped you try. I like the LeBlanc. I think we need to.
Oh, you know what? I think this is. I get close to this is where I should sell my shit now.
I think this is where you do it. Yeah. Nope. Not yet.
Or maybe I'll wait till I'm out of gold. 'Cause I think I roll down.
Like also if you sell them right now, this is definitely 10 gold. If you sell them now, you get an extra interest.
True.
Like I said, you should. I think I told you, or I would have told you you should have sold them like 2 stages ago, though. This was huge, by the way. The mouse too. You would not have gotten second without that. That was bad.
Nope.
Whenever I do these, I should actually keep notes. That'd be a good idea. Lesson learned for the future. The living on 2 HP, by the way, I was like, oh my god, hallelujah. Also here, by the way, the best item is this. It's 2 items for the price of one, and the other ones you don't really want. Like, you definitely don't want the Agent. Also, in the future, don't put the item that makes the unit, like, untargetable on your tank.
Oh.
Put that on a carry. Like, Savika or something is a character that wants that. But yeah, like I said, the best item was the Thieves' Glove.
I just saw item and character that needed item.
Oh, you sold one of the units! Oh, you sold them! It's too late, though. Which is also what I said to myself.
LeBlanc too there also.
Also very big. Not big enough because you have 0 frontline, but I do like
Yeah.
I like the thought process. Okay, so the game's over. So the big things to focus on, we're gonna go over it one more time, are itemizing characters that want the items they're using. So don't build items that you're like, ooh, I want a Bloodthirster. Make sure you have a unit to put it on, right? Another thing, play around your levels. If you're rerolling, sit at level 4 and 5 until you get your unit you want. If you're not rerolling, go to 7, reroll a little bit, get a couple stars, and then go forward. Play around who you're gonna use as a carry, right? Because you have to have a carry, okay?
Well, yeah.
The third thing, what was the third thing? Don't hold units you don't need.
Yeah.
Realize that it's not worth it, right? Just play the better unit if you're gonna hold it. So like the Rel, holding that was fine, but you don't need to hold the Vex and
Set.
the Renata, the set. Like they're useless to you, okay? And then the last thing, try to take with augments, just take what's fun, right? Try to have at least one combat augment, but otherwise take what sounds cool. Okay, that's it.
Well,
You're
I'm gonna
gonna.
take what sounds good.
That's fine too. Oh, and then the last thing, try to have one fully itemized tank and one fully itemized carry. Usually the highest cost of each, but if you have a higher star level on a certain one, go for that
I
instead.
mean,
But usually
technically,
the
I
highest
do
cost is
have
the
full
safest.
itemized, but they're
Fully
not.
tank itemized. I want a
Yeah.
tank itemized as a tank, okay? Jewel Gauntlet BT Gargoyles Rennie is not the play. Got it?
Yeah.